It is said that it takes 21 days to make a habit, and apparently it takes just as long to forget one. Hi! Welcome back to Level Grinding. I'm Rachel Bastarash-Bogan. I want to say welcome back and thanks for tuning in. Is it tuning in or logging on or turning it online or streaming? I don't know. We used to call it tuning in when I was a kid. But welcome to today's episode. First things first today, I'm heading up to Rooster Cat Coffee for my meeting with a guy named Dave. Dave wants to help out on the Creative Mornings team, and so I'm super excited about that. I've got a couple of other people that I need to email in regarding to this because I have 2 weeks to finish putting this team together, and this is a heck of a lot later than I wanted to. Unfortunately, all of my work on my current production projects has been leaving me wiped at night. But great update on those. My work this weekend, hustling and making sure that I got stuff done, paid off. I currently have 4 out of the 5 of the major projects that I needed to get done, like the elements of this big one, finished. I got to work on the 5th one. I'm going to send off the 4 to my client to review today, so that's on my to-do list to work on while I'm waiting for Dave to show up, so I'm looking forward to having that done. Afterwards, I am meeting my friend Julie for lunch, and of all things, I'm picking up a bicycle from her. Alrighty, Dave is on for the 25th for Creative Mornings. I feel really good about that. It is nice having that locked in. So I am now on my way to get lunch with Julie, get the bicycle, and then get home because I still have editing to do for Denver Rescue Mission. Brompton! Yes, this bike folds down. The way that it is right now is just so that I can actually have a handle to pull it. I would have been riding it, except it has flat tires. Alrighty, so far I am moving really nicely along in my task list, and right now I'm busy working in After Effects. Let me make this show up. Ta-da! So I'm busy on working to create not only a graphic, but also something that animates. So here's a bit of what it looks like. Ta-da! It is said that it takes 21 days to make a habit, and apparently it takes just as long to forget one. It is Wednesday. I am currently busy working on some animations for Denver Rescue Mission's project, and it's one of those things where I just need to sit here and just adjust keyframes at the moment. So I thought I'd take a second and talk a little bit about what's going on when it comes to habits because, oh my goodness. So my 12-week year is in a shambles. I mean complete shambles. The last time that I printed off a actual this is what I'm supposed to do sheet, I think was 2 weeks ago. I am so out of my habit doing this, and that is something that is really unnerving for me because I did the 12-week year for a year and a half. I did 6 12-week years, which means 3 months times 6 is a year and a half. So there's one of those things where it's just like, I want to get back into doing this, and yet for some reason, getting back into this has become a really big issue. And so I'm really trying to figure out how do I balance my time so that I can get this project done and that I can also get back into the things that I say that I want to do. It's one thing to say to yourself, I really want to do this thing, but it's a whole other thing to actually put feet to the ground and get around and doing it. And I have been doing a really lousy job of quote-unquote doing it. It's Thursday. Today I have another day in front of my editing machine, which is totally fine. That's why I do what I do. And I already have feedback back from some of the edits that I've already made for Denver Rescue Mission, which is great. It means that I have not only progress made, but progress to still make. So I'm feeling really good about where this project is at, and I'm really hoping to clear some space out because I've got a couple other clients that I need to get some work done for this month, and I really got to find time to do it. But this whole thing coming back to the fact that I have completely fallen off the bandwagon when it comes to my 12-week year. Oh man, I need to rebuild that habit. I thought that it really wasn't that big of a deal. Not because I shouldn't be doing my 12-week year, but that, after doing a 12-week year for the past 18 months, I thought that some of those things had truly become habits. And for the first couple of weeks, it definitely seemed like it, especially in the weeks leading up to NAB where I wasn't on a 12-week year, and that was on purpose. Because I was maintaining a lot of the momentum that I had, a lot of the habits that I had developed through checking off all those boxes every single day. And yeah, things don't look so good right now. So I now need to go through the effort of getting back onto this and redeveloping my habits. And I am on my way back down to Blue Noser. I have a meeting this morning with a possible client. We'll see what happens. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It's one of those things where I'm in the middle of a really busy season right now, with trying to finish this project out for Denver Rescue Mission. I've got another project that starts on Monday next week, and I'm going to be working on that until Wednesday. And then I have all my regular clients in those departments like, I don't have time for another meeting. But the reality is that I don't yet have anything lined up for after I get done with my vacation. And this is part of living in what I call the push me pull you. The push me pull you of being in business for yourself is that you will have work for a while, you'll have a lot of work, it'll be great, and then you'll have nothing. And you have that panic moment that happens when you are going from I have work and feeling great about having work to then going, crap, I don't have any work and I need work because I gotta still pay my bills. And so it's a weird place to be in, because when you have work, you're constantly worried about the fact that you don't have any. And then when you don't have work, you're worried about the fact that you can't get anything. So you exist in this really interesting space. And this is where having daily habits, having daily practices really help, because they are the things that at least give you structure in a place where you don't have a lot of structure. And, a lot of people go into business because they want that lack of structure, but it's not always a healthy thing, because if you don't have structure, you don't have things going around you, it's really easy to run into the problem of not having enough to do and not making enough money. Well, Taylor's loss, not mine. I had a fantastic breakfast. My lead never showed, which is fine. And it gave me some time to actually go through my calendar and catch up on a couple of things that I know have been coming up, but haven't really been tracking very well. So this ended up being a really good thing. Now I need to get home, take the dog out, and I really need to get into some of the other stuff that has to happen, including figuring out what I'm going to do to get back onto my 12-week year starting on Monday. I don't think I'm going to do it this weekend, but just get that plan back into place. In this case, planning to succeed. If you've recognized that you've fallen off the bandwagon, like me, what are the steps to get back on it? Well, the first thing that you might be thinking that you should be doing is start writing out the list of all the stuff that you should do and just go after it, right? If you have fallen off the bandwagon, just start doing it again. This is actually not a really good idea, because just doing makes you feel guilty for all the stuff that you haven't done, and also it's not going to be sustainable. You have to know why you're actually trying to get back on this bandwagon to begin with. Now, this is why having your vision written out is so important. This goes in my regular daily journal. This is my personal journal, and this is my be do have. This is the life that I want to have. This is the life that I want to live. And everything on my 12-week year is about making this a reality. Now, the cool thing that I noticed about doing this for 18 months straight is that it actually works. I started getting to a lot of this, and I was really excited. I am really excited because I know that there are results, and I know that I will make it to where I want to go. The other thing is to realize that it's going to take a lot of effort just because I was at this really good peak and I was like constantly doing things and I was getting a lot of stuff done and I was, being consistent, maybe not at the 80% level, but definitely being at least some form of consistent, I have to give myself the permission to say, it's going to take a while to get back up there. And I think this is one of the reasons why I have currently failed on my current 12-week year, because I was expecting at the very middle of April to just jump right back into this, to be right back where I was before with all the same thrust and all the same momentum and just be able to go forward. And I did not give myself the space or the permission to ease back into this. Taking 2 weeks off is a pretty significant amount of time. As I said, it takes 21 days to build a habit, but how quickly does it take to make one go away? Apparently not a whole lot of time. So it takes time to rebuild a habit. Now, I don't know if this is true, but I believe it takes less time to rebuild a habit. I could be completely wrong. The thing is, you need to expect that it's going to take time to build a new habit. But this is where I was really thankful for something that popped up in my news feed today. I have, like most people do on their Facebook page, the On This Day thing, where it brings up all of these reminders that shows you, hey, like years ago, this is what you posted on Facebook, which I think is really cool, but also I think it's annoying, but that's a whole other question. But anyway, it showed up this picture of a rocket ship. It is the butt end of a giant Saturn V rocket, and it has 5 Rocketdyne rocket nozzles that are sticking out the back. And I actually took this picture. I took this picture. You can see it right here. I took this picture when I went to Cape Canaveral in 2010 to see one of the very last space shuttle launches. I went with my friend Amy. This is the first time that she and I got to hang out for a week, and we spent this entire week in Orlando, in Titusville, all up and down the Space Coast, and we had the opportunity to see the space shuttle launch. And then afterwards, we went to the Kennedy Space Center, and we got to see just the history that they have collected there. And they had this whole section dedicated to the Apollo moon missions. And so once you got through all of the interactive exhibits, they plunked you out in the middle of a hangar at a Saturn V rocket standing on its side. And it is freaking huge. A Saturn V rocket is absolutely huge. You have no idea how big these things are until you actually stand next to them. A Saturn V rocket is 363 feet tall. So this thing was in a hangar and it was 360 feet tall, plus walking space all around it. It is powered by 5 Rocketdyne engines, and that's what's in the picture. And the crazy thing is that it takes multiple stages for a rocket to be able to lift man all the way up into orbit. And so the first stage is something that burns really fast, really quick. It's the thing that burns to get you just to get off of gravity, to break gravity and to get up off the ground. And then the next stage is what gets you even further up. And then the third stage that they had on the Saturn V was actually to leave power for the Apollo capsule to be able to go all the way to the moon. So these 2 stages burn to get something up into orbit. And so the crazy thing is that the first stage of a Saturn V rocket is 168 feet tall. It's 33 feet in diameter, and it is packed full with fuel, and those 5 Rocketdyne engines burn for 168 seconds. That's 2.8 minutes. And the only thing that this stage does, this is how high it gets. Want to guess? The Saturn V rocket in its first stage only gets off the ground 16 kilometers. That's it. 16 kilometers. When the second stage fires, it's 83 feet tall. It's 83 feet tall. It gets the rocket from 16 kilometers all the way up to 10,000 kilometers. It breaks all the way up through the upper atmosphere, and this is what puts the rocket into orbit. This is a great analogy for the 12-week year and for getting back on your task, getting back on your trajectory, putting in effort. Here's the point of this whole thing about rocket science. It takes more power and more effort to break gravity than it does to keep going. It is the same thing when you're on your 12-week year. It takes more effort to get going again than it does to keep going. Getting started on a journey. If you are using the 12-week year, if you are simply just saying, I want to do something different with my life, whether you are using a system like the 12-week year or something else to get there, or you want to learn a new skill, a new habit, you want to change your career, or you want to move, I don't care what it is, whatever the new thing is, to do it, at first is going to take a boatload of effort. It's going to take a lot of effort to break gravity. Breaking gravity in this situation means redoing your habit, reprogramming your life. It means that you are going to make the effort to change a pattern. That takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of effort. But once you get started, it becomes easier to do it. And you need less effort and you need less fuel to make it happen because you're already started. It's like rolling a snowball. It's the same thing. It takes more energy to get that snowball started than it does to keep it rolling down a hill. And so I was really thankful that this popped up on my newsfeed because I needed the reminder today that it's okay that it takes time and lots of extra effort to get back onto your trajectory. It also takes a lot of effort just to get started on a new trajectory, and that's normal. That's fine. It's coded into the laws of our universe that this is what it's going to be. This is a physical thing, that gravity takes a lot of effort to break, and the physics that are in our lives, the patterns that we were taught by our parents and our grandparents and our culture take a lot of effort to do something different in the face of. And so this is how you rebuild a habit. This is how you get back on when you have destroyed, or you have, I shouldn't say destroyed, because destroying means that I purposely tore it apart. I didn't purposely tear it apart. I decided to stop for a while because it was going to be easier for me, and it was. But now getting back on it has become a real challenge. And so it's okay. It's okay that it's a challenge, and it's okay to stop doing something for a season. Just remember that it's going to take a lot more effort to get going again. So I'm now going to continue to review my vision for my life because this is my inspiration. This is my dream and my goal. Now the next thing is planning out what is my fuel and how am I going to get there. So I'm going to reevaluate my 12-week year and see where I'm at, and give myself the space to actually get on this and to do it well, and to, remember that it's going to take a lot more effort to get back on it.